Hey guys, what's going on? It's Waseem here again for another fragrance review. Today we're going to be looking at a Attar. It's from the house of Sultan Pasha, and the Attar we're looking at today is called Tabac Grande. So Tabac Grande was released in 2006 and it's classified as an oriental spicy. The nose behind this scent is Sultan Pasha. He's an independent perfumer. He's based out of London in the UK. Now, Sultan Pasha, to give you a little bit of a background, like I've said, he's based in London, the UK. He's not a classically trained perfumer, but he's a self-trained perfumer, and he creates perfumes which are known as attars or oils. So he's not classically trained, but he does, from what I've gathered on the internet, have a background in chemistry, and I feel that background in chemistry helps him to create his compositions. From what I've gathered online, Sultan Pasha, he's someone who's renowned for using very high quality ingredients, and he gets these ingredients from the top suppliers. For example, looking at his note breakdowns for a lot of his creations, I found that he uses oud from Ensar Oud himself. Now, Ensar Oud, again, in the fragrance community, he's known as being one of the top artisan oud makers. Ensar Oud, from what I've read online, he uses the highest quality oud chips. Now, traditionally, the highest quality oud chips used to be sold off as oud chips to be burnt rather than for making oud oil. But Ensar Oud uses the highest quality oud chips for making his oud oils, which is why his oud oils are so renowned in the fragrance community. And Sultan Pasha actually uses these high quality oud oils in his compositions. Sultan Pasha also, in his compositions, uses, as well as the high quality natural ingredients, does use the minimum amount of synthetics as well. And he mentions that he uses the bare minimum just to round off some of the scents. And I found in my experiences of testing a lot of Sultan Pasha's creations that the synthetics are hardly noticeable but do help with the projection. His utters, for me, I found the performance to be outstanding compared to a lot of other utters that I've tried, which are fully natural. So yeah, that was a little bit of a background regarding Sultan Pasha the perfumer. So Tabac Grande, to give you a little bit of a background regarding this scent. From what I've gathered online, Sultan Pasha created this fragrance because of a favourite memory, I believe, from his childhood. Now, this memory goes that there was a family friend who used to visit their villa, and this family friend used to ride a huge horse, and he always used to have a pipe in his mouth. Now, the tobacco pipe in his mouth used to give off this, in Sultan Pasha's word, the most amazing, beautiful, sweet tobacco scent. So this was created due to that memory, so it's very much a conceptual fragrance. And for me, if you've been following my channel, I've mentioned it on a few occasions, I love conceptual fragrances. You know, when perfumers create a perfume, a attar, or any other fragrance, EDP, EDT, whatever, around a concept, I find that to be very appealing to myself. Just because it's not a fragrance that was just made off the cuff to sell, it's made because of a particular reason. And for me, it makes the fragrance more artistic, in my opinion. So that was a little bit of a background regarding Tabac Grande. Let me just run through the notes, and then I'll discuss what it smells like. I'll discuss its performance, and I'll discuss its suitability for occasions. And at the end, I will give my final overall rating for Tabac Grande by Sultan Pasha. So, at the top of Sultan Pasha, you're going to get hawthorn, saffron, cognac, coffee, and tobacco. The heart of the fragrance is osmanthus, damask rose, heliotrope, tonka bean, cocoa, and jasmine. And the base of the fragrance is hay, amber, ambergris, tonka bean, musk, civet, immortelle, castoreum, hyrax, oud, vanilla, Virginian cedar, Himalayan cedar, and juniper. So that was the note breakdown of Tabac Grande. But what does it really smell like? I think you can already guess where this review is going. As a reviewer on YouTube, I've been, I think, reviewing nearly 4 years now, 3.5 years. I've been testing hundreds and hundreds of fragrances, and the longer I've been doing this and the longer I've been testing fragrances, it's been harder and harder to come across fragrances which really blow me away. But the first time I applied Tabac Grande and I smelt it, it really blew me away, guys. So yeah, this is a spoiler of where this fragrance review is going. So Sultan Pasha's Tabac Grande, what does it actually smell like? For me, when I apply Sultan Pasha's Tabac Grande, I get this really juicy, tangy, really rich, slightly dark opening. Now this super tangy, fruity aspect that I get in the opening reminds me of tamarind. Tamarind is a, I'm not sure if it's like a fruit or something, but it has like a really tangy, fruity aspect to it, and has like a sourness to it as well. I love eating tamarind, and it has a very distinctive smell, and it has like a sweet smell, a slightly sour smell, but a very fruity smell along with it as well. And that's what I sort of pick up in the opening. As the fragrance develops, it keeps that super tangy, fruity, sour tamarind sort of vibe in the opening, but it then is introduced to a touch of smokiness, and the tobacco then joins in with the composition. And the tobacco, for me, it's not like smelling tobacco leaf itself, but it's like smelling what a tobacco would smell like from a pipe tobacco. And when I was younger, around 4, 5, 6 years old, I used to live at my grandparents' house, and my granddad used to be visited by one of his friends. I can't remember what his friend's name was, but I believe he was someone that worked in the council, and I think he used to come over to my grandparents' house to just help them fill out forms. Now, my grandparents were immigrants to the UK, so their English wasn't the best, so I think this friend of my granddad's used to come and just help them fill out any like forms for the council or whatever. And this family friend, he also used to have a tobacco pipe, and I always used to smell this tobacco pipe, and at that age I was just really fascinated by tobacco. I don't know why, I've never grown up to smoke tobacco, but at that age I was really fascinated by smoking tobacco, especially in the pipe. And pipe tobacco itself has a very distinctive smell compared to the smell of cigarettes. So for me, this Tabac Grande, it doesn't smell like smelling tobacco leaf itself. It smells like the smoke or the tobacco that you get from a pipe tobacco. Now I know how the smell of raw tobacco leaf smells like, because my dad actually chews tobacco, so there's like a whole box of like raw tobacco leaf in my house, and I can tell you that this does not smell like tobacco leaf. It smells more like smoky tobacco from a tobacco pipe. So in the opening you get this tangy, fruity, sour, dark vibe, and as it progresses it's introduced by a gentle smoke and a lot of tobacco from a tobacco pipe. And as the fragrance rises down, it really becomes more about the tobacco, and it's then joined by some sweeter notes. I believe it's coming from the notes of the vanilla, and there's also a touch of very light cocoa. And definitely in the dry down, the sweetness increases compared to the opening and in the heart, and it really, for me, it becomes a very gorgeous, sweet, rich, sweet tobacco scent with a touch of fruitiness and a touch of sourness from the tamarind note that I picked up in the opening. This for me is by far one of the most one of the best tobacco scents I've ever smelt. It's a very unique, incredibly artistic tobacco scent. Now there's a lot of sweet tobacco fragrances out there, but I haven't come across one that smells like this. It's not a one-dimensional tobacco sweet scent. It has a lot of facets to it, and the note of tamarind, it's not listed in note breakdown, but that's the type of accord that I got. Maybe it's due to the boozy note in this and some of the other notes meshing together, which just reminds me of this fruity, tangy, soury tamarind. But the tamarind note which I pick up and the tobacco blend so well together, in my opinion. So for me, Tabac Grande, it starts off quite punchy, quite loud, quite in your face, and quite dark in the opening, but as it passes through and develops on your skin, I feel like with the sweeter notes definitely in the dry down, it becomes more of a lighter scent. Lighter not in terms of performance, but you know, dark scents and light scents. You know, if you're wearing fragrance, you know what I mean. So Tabac Grande, that's how it smells like. But what was the performance? For me, Tabac Grande was beast mode in the first few hours. I think the first 4 hours or so, this was very, very loud. I've not worn an Attar before, which has this level of performance, so I was just blown away, and not just by its scent, but by its performance as well. After 4 hours or so, the performance becomes a little bit more on the moderate to excellent range. Again, that's brilliant in my opinion. So it's not quite beastly, but after that, it stays in the excellent range. In terms of longevity, I found Tabac Grande to last around 10 to 12 hours, which is incredible. I felt like it just kept going on and on and on. Really, when you first apply Tabac Grande, you only need one small drop and it can really fill up a room. Due to its scent profile, I feel like this is a perfect fragrance for the fall and the winter. I would especially wear this in the fall. I think tobacco fragrances work so well when it's fall. You got the orange, crunchy, red leaves. It just kind of conjures up tobacco, in my opinion. For my overall rating, I think. Oh, before I jump into overall rating, let me just tell you the occasions where I would wear Tabac Grande. Due to its strong performance and its scent profile, I feel like this comes across more like a formal scent. So for me, I'd wear this when I'm dressed my best in the fall and the winter. Overall rating for me is going to be a perfect score, 5 out of 5. This one really blew me away. One of the best tobacco fragrances I've come across. The unique tamarind, super fruity, tangy, soury vibe mixed with that tobacco, gorgeous tobacco, a little bit of smoke. You're going to get a little bit of cocoa as well as a touch of vanilla in the dry down as well. One of the best scents I've smelt. 5 out of 5. Performance was incredible as well. This for me is a masterpiece. So Tabac Grande from the House of Sultan Pasha gets a perfect score of 5 out of 5. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this review. If you have, then please be kind enough to leave me a like and a comment below, and make sure to subscribe as well. There's going to be a few more reviews from the House of Sultan Pasha. I've picked up a sample pack from him a few months ago, I believe at the start of the year. And yeah guys, if you want to try anything from the House of Sultan Pasha, I would recommend sampling first before buying a bottle. And that's because his compositions are incredibly expensive, and that's because he uses the highest qualities ingredients that he can get his hands on from the top suppliers in the world. It's very, very expensive, so definitely try and reach out for his sample packs. I find that he releases his sample packs quite periodically, and when he does, they sell out very, very fast. So it's best to maybe speak to him when he'll next release them. He sells them for about £70, which I feel is excellent value. You get about 30 Attars, and I think £70 is excellent, and you can really sample all of his range, and then you can make a decision if you want to buy a full bottle or not. So yeah, until next time my friends, see you later.